Are you wondering exactly when your Social Security check will arrive this October? Well, you don't have to guess anymore because it's now officially confirmed. The Social Security Administration has just released the full October 2025 payment schedule for retirees, SSDI beneficiaries, and SSI recipients. In today's update, we'll go over the exact payment dates, who gets paid first, and what you need to know if your birthday determines your check. We'll also cover important details about SSI payments hitting earlier than usual, possible delays, and how these changes could affect millions of seniors and disabled Americans relying on this vital income. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss an important Social Security update that could impact your benefits. Now, let's get right into the October schedule and see when your money is coming. Let's start with some exciting news. The Social Security Administration has just released the official payment schedule for October 2025, and I've noticed some interesting patterns that you'll definitely want to know about. Whether you're receiving regular Social Security benefits, SSDI, or SSI, I've got you covered. Now, here's something crucial that many people don't realize. Your payment date isn't random. It's actually determined by a specific system. And once you understand how it works, you'll never be confused about your payment date again. Let me explain why this matters so much. For those receiving regular Social Security benefits, your payment date is tied to your birth date. But here's the thing, it's not as straightforward as you might think. The Social Security Administration uses a Wednesday-based system, and depending on which part of the month you were born in, your payment will fall on either the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th Wednesday of October 2025. Let me break this down in a way that's easy to understand. If your birthday falls between the 1st and 10th of any month, your October 2025 payment will arrive on Wednesday, October 8th. Now, here's where it gets interesting if your birthday is between the 11th and 20th. You'll receive your payment on Wednesday, October 15th. And for those born between the 21st and 31st, mark your calendars for Wednesday, October 22nd. But wait, what about SSI recipients? I've got great news for you too. SSI payments for October 2025 will be distributed on Wednesday, October 1st. And here's a little-known fact that might interest you. Sometimes, when the 1st of the month falls on a weekend or federal holiday, SSI payments are actually sent out on the previous business day. Pretty convenient, right? Now, let's talk about SSDI recipients, because this is where things can get a bit tricky. If you receive SSDI, your payment date could vary depending on several factors. For most SSDI recipients, you'll receive your payment on the same schedule as regular Social Security benefits based on your birth date. However, if you started receiving SSDI benefits before 1997, or if you're also receiving SSI, your payment will typically arrive on the 3rd of the month. But here's something really important that I want you to pay attention to. These dates can be affected by holidays and weekends. The Social Security Administration never sends payments on federal holidays or weekends. Instead, they'll send the payment on the previous business day. This is crucial information for October 2025 because there's a federal holiday coming up, Columbus Day, on Monday, October 13th. You might be wondering, what happens if I don't receive my payment on the scheduled date? Well, I've got some practical advice for you. The Social Security Administration recommends waiting 3 business days before taking action. After that, you should contact them directly. But here's a pro tip. The best time to call is during the middle of the week and later in the month, when their phone lines are typically less busy. Let's talk about something that's been on many people's minds lately: direct deposit versus paper checks. Did you know that over 99% of Social Security recipients now receive their payments through direct deposit? There's a good reason for this. Direct deposit is not only more secure, but also ensures that you get your payment on time, every time, regardless of weather conditions or postal delays. Speaking of security, I want to share some important information about protecting your Social Security payments. Unfortunately, scammers are always coming up with new ways to target benefit recipients. Never share your social security number or banking information with anyone who contacts you unexpectedly, even if they claim to be from the Social Security Administration. The SSA will never call you to ask for this information or threaten to suspend your benefits. Now, here's something interesting that many people don't know about. The Social Security Administration has been making significant improvements to their online services. If you haven't already, I strongly recommend creating a My Social Security account on their website. This account gives you 24/7 access to your benefit information, allows you to print benefit verification letters, and even lets you change your direct deposit information securely. Let's address another common question I've been getting. Can I change my payment date? The short answer is no. You cannot choose or change your payment date. The schedule is set by the Social Security Administration based on their established system. However, understanding when your payment will arrive can help you better plan your monthly budget. Here's a real-life example that might resonate with many of you. One of my viewers, let's call her Mary, used to stress about her bills because her Social Security payment arrived late in the month, but most of her bills were due at the beginning of the month. She solved this by setting up a separate account for bill payments and keeping 1 month's worth of expenses as a buffer. This way, she always had enough to cover her bills, regardless of when her payment arrived. Now, let me share something that could potentially affect your October 2025 payment. The Social Security Administration occasionally updates their systems, which can sometimes cause slight delays in payment processing. While no major system updates are scheduled for October 2025, it's always good practice to keep some emergency funds available, just in case. Let's talk about representative payees for a moment. If you're managing benefits for someone else, it's crucial to understand that the payment dates work the same way. They're based on the beneficiary's birth date, not yours. This is something that often causes confusion, so I wanted to make sure to clarify it. Here's another helpful tip. The Social Security Administration sends out yearly calendars showing payment dates for the entire year. These calendars are available on their website, and I highly recommend downloading one to keep as a reference. It's much easier than trying to remember or calculate your payment dates each month. Now, let's discuss something that's particularly relevant for October 2025. Many of you have asked about the cost of living adjustment, COLA, and whether it will affect your October payment. While the COLA announcement typically comes in October, any adjustments don't take effect until January of the following year. So your October 2025 payment amount will not be affected by the upcoming COLA announcement. I want to address a concern that some of you have expressed about banking holidays. October 2025 has Columbus Day on the 13th, but since this falls on a Monday and Social Security payments are distributed on Wednesdays, it won't affect your payment schedule. However, it's always good to be aware of banking holidays, as they can affect how quickly your payment becomes available in your account. Here's something practical that I recommend. Mark your payment date on your calendar and set up a reminder a few days before. This way, you can plan your expenses accordingly and avoid any unnecessary stress about when your payment will arrive. Let me share another useful tip. If you're traveling during your payment date, make sure your bank knows about it. This is especially important if you're traveling internationally, as some banks may flag foreign transactions as suspicious and freeze your account as a precaution. Now, here's something that many people overlook. Even though your payment date is fixed, the time of day when your payment becomes available can vary depending on your bank. Some banks make the funds available at midnight on the payment date, while others might take several hours to process the payment. It's worth checking with your bank to understand their specific policies. Let's talk about emergency situations for a moment. What if you desperately need your payment, but it hasn't arrived yet? The Social Security Administration does have procedures for emergency payments in certain situations. However, these are typically only approved in cases of dire need, such as threats of eviction or utility shutoff. Here's a question I get asked a lot. What happens if there's a government shutdown? Well, I've got good news for you. Social Security payments are considered mandatory spending and continue even during government shutdowns. So you don't need to worry about your October 2025 payment being affected by any potential political situations. Let me share something personal that might help you. When my mother started receiving Social Security benefits, she was initially confused about the payment schedule. What helped her was creating a simple monthly budget that accounted for when her payment would arrive. She adjusted her bill due dates where possible to align better with her payment date, which made managing her finances much easier. Now, let's discuss something that's becoming increasingly important: cybersecurity. With more people managing their Social Security benefits online, it's crucial to protect your information. Always use strong passwords for your My Social Security account. Enable two-factor authentication if available, and never access your account on public Wi-Fi networks. Here's a practical suggestion. Consider setting up automatic bill payments that align with your Social Security payment date. This can help ensure your important bills are paid on time while still leaving you in control of your finances. Let me address another common concern. What happens if you need to contact the Social Security Administration about your October payment? The best time to call is during the middle of the week and later in the day, when wait times are typically shorter. But remember, you can handle many tasks through your My Social Security account without having to call at all. As we wrap up this discussion about October 2025 Social Security payments, I want to emphasize something important. While the payment schedule might seem complicated at first, it's actually quite predictable once you understand how it works. The key is to know your payment date and plan accordingly. Before we end, let me remind you of the key dates one more time. SSI payments will be distributed on October 1st, and regular Social Security and SSDI payments will be sent out on October 8th, 15th, or 22nd, depending on your birth date. Mark these dates on your calendar and plan accordingly. I hope this information has been helpful in understanding exactly when you'll receive your October 2025 Social Security payment. Remember to like this video if you found it useful, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates on Social Security benefits and payment schedules. Drop a comment below with any questions you might have. I always try to respond to as many as I can. And hey, if you know someone who receives Social Security benefits, share this video with them. It might help them better understand their payment schedule too. Until next time, take care and thanks for watching.